Afternoon, tomorrow evening. Coach, good to see you.
Hey, how you doing there?
Doing well. Looking forward to, we told the players, we said there's no way, these two guys, don't worry about these two guys tomorrow. Don't worry about number 1, don't worry about number 5 from Dudley. Those guys, they won't be there tomorrow night. But all in all, we know we got to focus on those two guys. Has to focus.
Well, it is, but it ain't. It's a team game, and we not go break it down to individuals. I think if, like we tell our guys, they got some other guys that can hurt you as well. So we didn't sit here this week and we didn't make it a big emphasis about Hook or Young. We made it about a team, and it's more so about us. Like I told my kids all week, man, just go play 100%. Let the chips fall where they may. Win, lose, or draw, I can live with it if you give it all you got. I'm not concerned with anything else but us playing our game, our way, and doing what we supposed to do.
And they got the other guy too, Ezra Perkins. I think he's number 10. Because I was saying today about your days at Dudley, back over the years, there were always guys that kind of stood up and stepped out that people weren't quite focused on as much. Guys like Kyrie Ward. You had the Blacknall brothers. You had the Watlington. I think you were gone by the time Lamar Watlington State. Were you state champion?
Yeah, I was there for one.
Yeah.
I was there with them for 1 year, and then I left the year they won it in 2013.
That was another guy people didn't expect that. But these guys are sometimes the guys that burn you the worst.
Well, one thing about it, and I think the biggest thing, with Hooker, Young, as you said, the Blacknall, well, the one constant, they got a pretty good offensive line.
Yeah. So
it really doesn't matter who you put back there, and even from our championship years, we've always had a pretty good offensive line. So, and in that, and like you say, over the years, we rotated backs in and out, and they all have been successful. So, I think, from my days there to what Coach Davis and Coach Best and them offensive guys are doing, it's still the same, but they add their own little twist to it. But they consistently, and it's been the same. Been able to run the ball as long as I've known Dudley, and as long as I've been over there. We've always been able to run the ball, regardless of who the tailback was.
Did you watch the Richmond County game?
We did.
What'd you think about that game?
I thought it was a hard fought. Two of the better teams in 4A. Like I told my kids, I thought Richmond County came and wasn't scared of Dudley. I thought them guys, they, with the mystique and everything, the Dudley name, I thought Richmond felt the same way. We are Richmond County. We have that same bravado and that mystique, and them guys came to fight and play. So, I thought it was, like you say, two of the better teams in the state, regardless of classification, and them guys played like it.
One little kind of unnoticed thing that happens sometimes that I noticed that night, kind of impressed me about Richmond County, was their downfield blocking, able to get down and block the Dudley linebackers, defensive backs, and kick them out to open up those big spaces. Because the quarterback that night, his name was Ziegler, I think, from Richmond, he just went crazy that night.
Oh yeah, well that's just part of executing, and I think with the better teams, those guys execute, night in, night out, play out the play. If that's your assignment, I thought they did a good job of being where they were supposed to be, and I mean that's part of the game. You got to do your assignment.
That's the way it was back when you played at Page. I'm thinking that's one thing kept you guys going every game.
Oh yeah.
Of course, you did it the same way, and you focused, and you guys executed the plan every week.
Oh yeah, but and they did a good job of making sure we did. We understood, our assignments, and nobody tried to do more than what they had to do. Everybody went out there and wanted to do my job.
Knew your role.
Yep. If you did your job and knew your role, you knew at the end of the day, our chances of winning would be pretty good.
So were you playing with Carlos Doggett back then?
I was.
Before, yeah.
I was the quarterback. I was a year ahead of him, so we played together for 2 years, and then I was gone his senior year.
I've asked this probably before too, but I still think about it occasionally. Were you with them when they played Brian Williams and Southwest Gopher that 1 year?
No, I was
Game.
gone. Yeah, we scrimmaged Brian them my senior year, but yeah, that was Carlos and Brian's senior year when they
that
played.
Was 1 year later
was
then.
Gone. Yep.
What about West Charlotte?
I was the quarterback in that one.
When you went down there on Thanksgiving weekend that 1 year?
Yeah, when I just threw it up in the back of the end zone.
Wow.
Yep. And
who was your top receiver back then?
Willie Wright.
Man, that's huge because he went to NC State.
Yeah, he went
played
to
some
NC.
basketball. He was a big receiver for State.
Yeah.
Where all those guys go after all this is over?
Oh man, everybody, we still keep in touch, but I know Willie's in Raleigh. Like I said, Carlos around in Greensboro.
He was coaching for a while when he
was
coaching.
He was over there with us when we first got there. Ended up, getting married, got a couple kids, got a family, man. All of us still keep in touch. But we all grow up. We all got to step out and do our own thing and what we figure, is best for us and our family and things. But yeah, everybody's doing good.
What's the constant for you going back when you played played at Page and coached at Dudley, now coaching at Smith. What's been the constant thread through all these years in your football career?
I just think the people surrounding me. I think all of those guys are still there with me. Coach Davis, I talked to him yesterday, as a matter of fact. Coach Floyd, he continues to call me. I see Coach Stallings, Coach Kirby, and just the people surrounding me, man, and just keep giving me encouragement, and them guys just continue to want to see me be successful.
They
man.
coached you up, didn't they?
They
coached
did.
You up, yeah.
They really did. And all of us. And the one thing I try to teach my kids beyond football, they taught us how to be young men. Mm-hmm. And I think that's
if
what's
you didn't pick up that
us.
trait, you may not have gone as far as you've gone now.
I know I wouldn't have.
You had all the skill sets, you had all the talent, but you need that other part too, I guess.
You got to. You got to have it, man. The discipline, just the, and sometimes, I thought we was pretty good at it. You got to better humble yourself, and you got to have people in your corner that's go make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. There's so many kids these days that don't have that, and they end up going down the wrong path.
Yeah, because the two guys you brought tonight, they mentioned looking for that father figure, for that brother figure. My standpoint, I talk about kids all the time on these programs, websites. I never think of a kid I think of a kid like as a brother.
Yeah.
It's like a brotherhood. We're all in this thing together, trying to run some kind of sport, trying to do some kind of job in sports, because that's what we chose to get involved in. If you're a player, coach, teach, whatever, it's like one big brotherhood.
Oh, yeah, that's it. And that's what we try to teach, man, just being a family. And, like I told them guys, look at us. It's their big brother, whatever you need to do. And unfortunately, a lot of these young guys these days are in single-parent homes. And they don't have that strong male role model. And that's something that, I try to strive to be, and my coaches, we try to strive to be. But like you said, at the end of the day, I had those type of guys as coaches to be able to help me grow.
And you coached up your players these days, plus sometimes you have to even coach up your coaches, too.
You do. Oh, yes, you definitely do. Because a lot of them hadn't been in this situation. So yeah, we definitely coaching them every day. Like we just met the other day as a staff, and we just got to go back to the drawing board and start with ourselves. Let's look into ourselves and figure out what it is we could do differently in order to to be able to help our kids. Maybe it's something that we missing, or something that we overlooking, or we not doing. And in that standpoint, man, but I have some great young coaches, man, that I love, and they love to be there. They very excited about it. Like my defensive coordinator, Coach Wiggins, man, I love him. He's a blessing to me. That young man works hard. His future's gonna be bright. He probably got a couple more years, and I look at him to be a head coach somewhere. He's that good, and he's dedicated to what it is that he does.
I'll tell you the one thing you probably can't do, because I was thinking about this the other day, trying to stay connected with the kids. Sometimes you got it, but you might lose them. One thing you probably can't do, you can't probably, in a situation gets rough, you just can't walk away and drop your head down and start shaking your head. You do too much of that. The coaches use it all the time, and the kids knew how to respond to turn it back on and work harder. If you walk away from a kid this day and time and just kind of drop your head, they might just completely turn you off completely. They might say you gave up on them.
Oh yeah, and that's definitely it. Because like I said, at the end of the day, they don't have that strong male influence, and they looking for you for that, and they feel like if you give up, there's nobody else there for them.
They're looking at you for all the answers.
Yeah, they are, and sometimes we don't have them, but at the end of the day, what we can do is give them the best advice that we can, to keep them pushing on, and let them know that we are here for them, and just make sure that you're being smart in whatever the choices that you are making, because they can impact you in the future.
How about what keeps you at Smith, keeps you driving, and keeps you saying, I got to stick with this job. I got to see this thing through. What keeps you there? What keeps you driving? What keeps you working to get this thing going?
These kids, man, and I think this is something, that I was born to do. I really believe coaching and being around these young men and seeing these young men grow up to be successful. Being that mentor, cause like you say, for me, this is what I had. Like with a Coach Davis, a Coach Victor Floyd, and them guys were there to be able to put their arm around me and make sure I was doing what I was supposed to do. So just giving back to these kids, and going to school, seeing them in the hall, going to practice, and being around.
It means a lot to see one of your football players going to class, taking a seat and getting a good day's work in the academic field too.
Oh yeah, and one thing about like they'll tell you, I tell them all the time, man. This for me, this is bigger than football. One thing about it, and I'm very proud of the 2 championships that we won at Dudley, but I'm more proud of the relationships that I built with those young men. And some of them are in college to this day, and even the young men that just left me at Smith, they still text me, we still talk. They check on me, I check on them. So, I could lose my rings tomorrow, but them relationships I built with them young men will last forever, and that's something that I'm most proud of.
And you see something maybe in these young men that maybe another coach who might come in from another out of town, he might come in and maybe stay a year and be gone, but you see some of these kids that maybe others might not see.
Oh yeah, which I know, like I say, some of these kids, like I say, it's bigger than football. Some of these kids are fighting for life. They trying to get out of a situation to put themselves in a better situation. So yeah, we definitely go continue to hang in there with them. We go continue to fight. Like I told them, we go continue to get on them, hold them accountable, making sure that they doing right, not just at home, but in the classroom and also on that football field. But like you say, the biggest challenge for somebody is just life in itself. So we understand that, and we go hang in there with them, and we go ride with them, and we go do everything we can as coaches, mentors, and as brothers to them to make sure that they be successful.
What would you say are some of the team's strengths this year, strengths of your team?
I think for us, it's just, them guys showing up every day and just coming out and competing every day. One thing about it, I believe we got 6 seniors. So we're a very young team. So the biggest thing with them guys is just, them guys continue to come every day, continuing to fight, continuing to grow. Them young men continuing to build this bond and this family as we want as a team. Like I told them, we just finished phase 1, which was the non-conference. It didn't go the way we thought it would go. Our goals set in the off season. We definitely thought, we should have did a whole lot better. Them guys understand what our expectations are. But at the same time, like I told them guys today, let's put that behind us. Let's get ready for the second phase of the season, which a lot of people understand. Paige, like I told them, Paige showed us last year that the non-conference really didn't mean a whole lot. Of course, you want to win.
Around,
yeah, they end up losing all their non-conference games, but came in the conference, won some, finished 3rd, and ended up making the playoffs. So
and you played them a good game at your place last year.
Yeah,
it was about a 19, 13 game or something crazy like that.
We did. Now, we had to replace some guys that was on that team last year, and we with some young kids. Like, we have 3 sophomores.
So that's probably the weakness of the team. Might be the age.
The experience. And even with some of our seniors that's playing, they are seniors, but with game experience, it's not a lot. So they probably a first year, second year type of kid, but they just behind some guys like Desmond Sturdivant, Cameron Clark.
Boy. Don't you wish some years? I mean, teams of mine over the years, I wish I could just have those 2 guys back to go with this year's team. We don't ever seem to have those guys. The kick doesn't kick it into the time you want it to. You might have those guys one more year.
Oh yeah, and them are guys who went through the struggle but understood, and them guys continue to get better. So they know what it took, to get to the point where they were their senior year. And it took a lot of hard work and them guys dedicating themselves to the off season, to the weight room, to the conditioning program. And that's what we trying to get these young guys to understand, man. You gonna have to build. It's not something that's just gonna happen overnight. But yeah, we definitely missed some of that leadership that Cameron and Dez would bring during the game when things got tough. Them guys was able to, stand up and as a coach, sometimes we didn't have to say anything. They would take over and handle that and get the team fired up and make sure they stayed into it. So that's something we definitely looking for right now. And we done challenged a couple kids, so hopefully a couple guys can step up for us.
To beat Dudley, it's not the kind of thing you can write something down on a piece of paper and read to the guys, this is how we're going to beat these guys. It's something else, isn't it? There's more to it than that, right?
Well, it is. And I think at the end of the day with anything, it's going to take heart, toughness, discipline. Outside of football, football is football. Everybody pretty much does the same thing football-wise. I think it's going to come down to, like you said, who's going to be more disciplined, who can execute the best, who can win their individual matchups. I think that's what it's going to come down to. And at the end of the day, it's going to come down to who has the more mental and physical toughness.
And we ask you about your strengths. What's the strength for Dudley, you think? What's their biggest strength?
I just the coaches. I think them guys do a great job of preparing them guys week in, week out. And being over there, I know how detail-oriented Coach Davis is. The littlest thing, he find it and he see it. And I just think as a whole, them kids have bought into what it is that they want to do. You know, I think them guys understand what it is and the expectations over there. And, you know, and that's something we trying to get to and really get our kids to understand. Just the buying into and just doing, you know, what we asking them to do.
What would you say, if there is any, and you know it because you know what to attack? You want to attack their weaknesses somewhat tomorrow night. What is a weakness you can attack?
They kids.
Yeah.
They kids.
Kids make mistakes.
You know, and I think if, you know, we can go out here and just play and just like any game, you know, we can make it tough, put a little pressure on them. You know, at the end of the day, they kids out there playing and they gonna make mistakes. So, you know, we just got to do our part and just try to hang around and fight and claw and do anything we can do to make it to the fourth quarter and keep it manageable. And you never know what could happen.
You win the kickoff as far as the coin toss goes. You win that coin toss. Do you defer and go ahead and kick off to them and get the ball in the second half?
Yeah, we'll defer. We'll defer, and that's something, you know, we want to put our defense out there and try to set the tone. And you know, a lot of times they kind of give you an idea because, you know, them guys are supposed to be the more aggressive guys. So we want to get out there and try to set the tone, you know, for how we want the game to go.
And as far as the rest of the season goes, your season goals as you go into tomorrow night's game, what's the goals for the rest of this year?
The goal is just to finish the season strong. Our goal is to be 5-0. My goal is to be conference champs. My goal is to, you know, get a playoff berth. So yeah, I mean, our goals hadn't changed from the regular season. Just because we had a little stumbling block with our non-conference, we still got the same goals. That won't change. You know, the biggest thing for us, and like we've told the kids the rest of this week, is just, you know, you do your job. You know, you come out and compete and fight and give it 110%. And let's let the chips fall where they may. Win, lose, or draw, if you give it 110%, I can live with the result.
Tell us about what these two kids you brought with you tonight, Mr. Kleiner tonight, you brought in, Mr. Davis. What do those two kids mean to your team?
Those kids are like the Davis kid, Quintrell. He's just the heart and soul of our team. You know, he's done everything from the time I first got here. Like I said, he's a 3-year starter. You know, he's somebody as a coaching staff we can lean on, and you know, he knows everything. He's like a coach on the field. You know, he got hurt early and he missed a couple games, and we kind of missed that early on. Just somebody that can lead those guys, and them other kids look up to. With Jalen, with Clenard, he's probably our toughest kid. You know, he go put his nose in it. He's go fight to the last. Second on the clock, and he's gonna give it his all night in and night out, and that's one thing we expect from him. You know, he's a returning all-conference, all-area kid, and we expect a lot out of him. And he's lived up to it. And you know, them two guys are probably two of the heart and soul of our team, and two of the guys that we lean on the most, man, and we expect the most out of them.
As we close out, we ask the kids to do it sometimes. You got a shout out tonight? Want to say throw a shout out to somebody out there somewhere?
You know, just to Smith High School, just to the kids, to my coaching staff, man, and just hope, you know, them guys come out, support. Just continue to support the kids. You know, just know we working hard every day. And you know, they busting their butt. And also give a little shout out to my little daughter, Lana. Daddy love you, baby.
Coach, keep up the